Evening.
Hey. Morning, afternoon, evening.
Yeah. Welcome to the future again. You all right, Tracy?
Oh yeah, I'm in the future.
I know. That's why we ring you. See what's going on.
We can't even work out what morning or afternoon we're at.
I ain't got a fucking clue anymore. Somebody said to me yesterday, they went, "It's Friday today." I went, "What?" That was yesterday or the day before for you. I'm so confused.
Someone this morning was telling me it was the 24th, and clearly we were a few days ahead of ourselves.
That was me. Really sorry.
I was convinced. We know. We just got to be
convinced it was today.
I was like that. Just going. It's the 24th. This apparently this magical day where all the nefarious ones are going to fucking like get dissolve, and you've been pumped up about it for days and that now.
Oh, I've had a countdown and everything.
And then I went, "It's the 22nd." She went, "Oh no."
That was last night.
That was last night. It's the 23rd.
Yeah. So it's tomorrow. I've been saying tomorrow now for 2 days.
2 days.
Christmas is coming. It's coming. Okay.
Oh my God! Talk about Christmas. Oh, sorry. What? Right. So what we're going to talk about today then? This can be really interesting actually.
We're just going to talk about why. Because you want a bit of confidence, and when you're revoking something, right? We're going to tell you why you can revoke your mortgage documents or any document that you've signed, okay? And also why we call it a unilateral mistake of being forced to sign illegal declarations because you didn't understand a word, not one word you did not understand when you signed it. So, and also by signing it, but we just want to just quickly explain using one document to show you how easy it is to pick out the deception. That's all. Okay.
I apologise now for any banging you hear or anything else because we're in morning time here, and I'd say it's a working boat yard, so there's a lot of banging. Fair weather boat builders. They only come out when the weather's nice. So ish. So I've apologised now, and apologise for the background as well, because
we're not
turning into an old people's home. Yeah, it's just we need to block the sun out.
I couldn't find my old sarong that we usually put up, so it's a scarf. Somebody left around our house years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, somebody left around our house.
I kept it.
It's just kept it, so we've fitted that up there just to stop the sun getting in.
Well, actually, no, it's a real background.
Yeah, we could have had a kitchen. We could have had a kitchen.
Could have had a space thing.
A space bit anyway. It's not going down that road. Okay, right. Come on, let's get going. Let's get their heads blown to pieces.
Not really. It's not simple.
It is actually.
Okay, so this is a document. It's a New Zealand one. I'll just do this. Scroll down. Okay, so here we are. We're calling it a facility agreement. Okay, this was done 2015. So a facility agreement. Well, we don't know what that is, but this is a facility agreement which was done for a term loan for a home. Okay, so they're buying a home. Okay, so it's the ASB bank, and then in brackets the lender, and referred to in this facility agreement as we, us, and ours, in brackets, and that's their names. I've redacted it, and then in brackets the borrower, referred to in the facility as you and yours. Okay, so we, us, and our are people, right? And you and yours, well, you can be spelled EWE. And if you're looking into certain, looking up meanings of words, you'll find you terminates to a servant, okay? The next one here is we, that means the bank, ha, 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 but we will make a facility detail, the facilities detailed in the attached facility schedule available to you on the terms contained in the facility agreement. Well, I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it's the mortgage. Then you've got the terms and conditions applying to the facilities recorded in this facility agreement. and then our general terms and conditions reference number, blah, 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 brackets, the terms, and the facility schedules and facility numbers, blah, 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 term line, blah, 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 term line. Those are bank account numbers. So the facility schedules for the facility numbers are bank account numbers. Okay, any questions on that?
Nope.
Because you completely understand that, right?
Yeah, not, I ain't got a clue. Because they've used we there as well, haven't they? The lender, we, and then what we there.
Yeah.
I presume that's them as well. That's them. Us is them, and ours is probably them.
Well, yeah. We always write we as an owl with capitals.
Right.
This is one of the reasons why.
Does it make any difference because it's in brackets, Tracy? What's that mean?
It's off the page. They're just, when they do on ours, it could be ours or owls, right?
Yeah.
Or yours, or, but it's in brackets, so it's off the page. It's not counted.
And sorry to put it, the S is in brackets as well. What do they mean by that?
Yes, in brackets. Well, they just say yours and putting it in brackets, so it could be yours or your.
Or yours.
To me, it's nonsensical.
Mm.
This is legalese, and when they put things in brackets, because you go ours, if there's a comma up there, it's whose.
Yeah, it's
right?
like computer code, basically. You put in a different thing in there that makes it something else.
Yeah, and
yeah,
I totally believe in not over analyzing things, right?
Mm.
Because we don't know. I mean, you can look up. There's some really clever guys, and you can. There's a Chicago's titles are styles and titles, right? And it's a massive book, and it's like, oh, I mean, when you go through it, you realize what all these things mean, but only a few people actually use the book.
Have you read the book, or have you gone through it?
I have got a copy of it. She looks to one side and goes, is it here? No, it's a friend of mine's, and I've got it.
Probably underneath the table.
He's
Holding it, squaring your table up.
It was there, but it's not. I'll probably put it down somewhere. I'm just looking. No. Okay, so yeah, so it's just a book that tells you what brackets, underlining, and everything else means, and the little hyphens and everything.
So that also proves it's a thing. Yeah, because of the fact of there's a book about it.
And they've got lines. See, they've got a line up the top there. That's one. So they've separated it. It's a different document, different thing. You've got different size fonts, everything. If they change the font, they put coding, bold lettering. They do this, they do that. They put it in slightly different such and such. All of that means it's not on the document, or it's changed the document. Okay, because what they're doing is they're telling you it's fraud, but they're telling you it's fraud, so it's okay, because you should know.
Okay.
Anyway, if there's any conflict between the facility agreement and the terms of this facility agreement shall prevail. Furthermore, if there is any conflict between the facility agreement and a facility set out of the facility schedules, the terms of the facility schedule shall prevail over the facility agreement.
Oh my God.
What? Right? So it's saying the facility agreement and the terms of the facility agreement shall prevail. Well, I mean, how is there a conflict? So you kind of think it's what they've written on one document is they're not even talking. The two documents aren't talking to each other. It doesn't make sense. Okay.
Do you think that's been cribbed off another page? We had that. We found a lot of that when we was doing the mortgage for back in the day. They'd crib one bit and put another bit in it. So it don't make sense.
No, none of it makes any sense. But this is the problem. You're buying a house.
Yeah.
And you've seen a lawyer. Okay, you've seen a lawyer, and the lawyer has told you to sign this because you want the money for your house. Okay, well, do you have an agreement? This is what's going in our testimony in the form of an affidavit to assist people through the law councils, and this is one fact. If you, because we have a little form, then this is what it is. did you have an agreement with the lawyer before you signed this agreement?
Okay. In what way? In what way? What? So you're saying is before you sign this agreement, get an agreement with your lawyer.
You should have had one first.
You had one first. Okay.
And why would you do that?
To make sure he's doing the right job, I presume.
Well, yeah, because otherwise you would want the agreement that you have with the lawyer to say that he was denying your rights.
Yeah. Yeah, because you spoke about this before. Yeah.
Okay, the words and expressions.
Sorry, would an average lawyer understand this, or would an average lawyer just go, yeah, sign it, you want the money, and bugger off?
I think they do to an extent, but the lawyers in New Zealand are taught the process, and they have a little thing called LexisNexis, which is a brilliant program, because all you have to do is the problem, you put your problem in, and it'll come up with the case laws. Okay, so in all the cases, you can always tell when a lawyer's used LexisNexis, the amount of case law that they shove in there, right? So some of them do, and some of them don't, and you kind of know the ones that do because they really shut you up real quick, or you're suddenly you're not going to be made available for witnesses and things like that. The words, okay, so the words words and expressions defined in the terms and not otherwise defined in the facility agreement have the same meaning as construction we use in the facility agreement and the facility schedule, unless its context otherwise requires. The word require is actually require, right? It's quite a serious word. And all references in the clause to clause reference to clause to the term of the terms. Like, I'm confused, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
But obviously, there's obviously a list of terms and conditions and the meanings of and interpretations of those words.
Okay, so that hasn't been clipped to that form. That's just that's what they keep that for themselves. Write that. You don't get to see that.
Well, they should do. It says it's defined in the terms and not otherwise defined in the facility. So it's not in the agreement, but it's in the terms. And there must be terms somewhere, right? Yeah.
So your lawyer or solicitor should have them terms so you can read through them with him to go, what's all this then before I sign for this? And obviously you as a client don't get to see that. He just ticks the box.
Yeah, you would think that, but the problem with that is this. Your lawyer is supposed to interpret for you, because no layman understands anything. No layman understands this, legalese, court procedures, any form. And any form that you're given is a legal form, and the courts or anyone is not allowed to give you a legal form. So therefore, no one interpreted it, and it's not lawful. But we wanted to buy a house, okay? Got to buy the house. I really love this house. Just have to buy the house.
Oh, they get you.
Because that's the carrot, right? Okay, conditions. Drawdown. I don't know what drawdown means. Drawdown from any facility for any facility shall not be available until we have received and are satisfied with the following: all the conditions specified or referred to in the terms refer clause 6. So what are they clearing? Because all you're doing is you've decided to buy a house, you just want the money for it to be transferred to the person that owns the house, and they are deciding to give you the money. What for?
So about the banging.
You're going to pay it back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Worked out what you borrowed yet?
And drawdown would be the money, would it? Drawdown, that'd be the money drawing down into your account.
They're not telling you it's money, are they?
No.
You can't.
Only assumption. Yeah.
You don't assume it because there's no money here at all. There's no money mentioned here. Okay, security, whatever that is. So the security prior to the facilities being made available, you will provide us with these securities marked new, in quotations, and or our completed form of a solicitor's certificate, registered first in the ranking unless otherwise specified. We have a security interest in the property listed below to secure the performance of your obligations under the documents and the payment of money under the documents, or both if you fail to meet your commitments under the documents. Then you are then to extend of the security interest, and you may be entitled to reprocess and sell the property listed below. We may be entitled, sorry. So like, okay, so they're telling you that they're going to be entitled to sell your property if you don't pay money to them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but they haven't given you money. They've done a drawdown.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you sign a piece of paper and you hand it to the bank and they give you they transfer something to get you a house, right? Do you know how much that piece of paper's worth?
Value of the house, I suppose, or probably more.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And if you look at some of the loan documents, because people have seen them and gone, oh my God, they've borrowed money, and then the banks have added a rather large sum beside it for themselves. Other people working in the bank have gone, yes, we've certified true copied them. Some banks have done it 28 times. They've bundled them up and they've sold them. So they're being sold because banks deal with securities. You've used your signature to pay for it. So, and what is money? Because money, we don't even know what money is, because at this stage, it's not really real. But what it has done is made it clearly obvious that we're working for something that we never had to pay for in the first place because we paid for it. But the worst thing about this document, when it says that there, security interest, we may be entitled to repossess and sell the property, right? Is they've put this on, like over here in New Zealand, they've got mortgages on Maori land, right? And they shouldn't have mortgages on Maori land, but we say, you know, okay, let's remove those mortgages by simply having them done for deceiving in documents, therefore it's void. So and we can do that, but this is why they do that, because they're actually land banking. Now if you realize that by those little statements there, all these people that got vaccinated, right, and all these people that have lost their jobs because you didn't see one government say, look, you know, with Taiho on paying taxes, we won't force anyone to be doing mortgages or anything, because we don't want you to lose your homes because there is a pandemic, right? We really need to protect our people. This is for our protection. We don't want to injure anyone, don't want to cause any harm. We'll just stop everything. We've got a pandemic. We will stop. We will do the best we can to make everyone safe and not harmed, right? No, you didn't see that. No. You've got the IRD pumping taxes, banks. Now, this is really funny because you've got to look at the shareholders to the major companies, especially the ones around the airports, right? They have forced these vaccines. And they've forced people out of their homes because of their deceit in their documents. But we'll go further because I'll show you what else I've done. So a new registrar, all obligations mortgaged to us over the property situated at the address described as identified number. So they've got now all obligations mortgaged to us. So they've got a lien, encumbrance over the land, right? So not only have they said they've given you money, transferred it, they've got control over the property. Like the security interest we hold over the property will secure all of your existing and future indebtedness to us.
Indebtedness. God.
Whether or not documented in this facility agreement, and the facility schedules any other security interest granted to us in the future over any of your other properties will also be secured indebtedness to us. Oh, we're just going to own all your shit now.
Oh wow!
Oh
So they
my
can.
goodness.
Oh my God! So literally, they can just go. If you've got another, say you've got another couple of houses, you've just signed them away.
Yeah, but the lawyer that you had, because you always have to have a lawyer.
Well, of course you do.
Right, so we go to the next one. It's a bit out of focus because he's useless. He's lovely, actually. Okay, but we've got still, a borrower acknowledgement and agreement. Oh dear. You, in brackets, each acknowledge that. Now, this is really serious, okay? Okay, so you acknowledge the initial disclosure under the Credit Contracts Act. You have been provided with a copy of the facility agreement and the terms of each security documents and other documentation relating to this facility. You confirm that you have read and understood the documents and accept the terms and conditions written in brackets, including all conditions present, it's all blurry, and draw down. Okay, so you got that, right? So it's including, when you go including, it excludes, but then it's in brackets, so it's confusing, right? Okay, so you've confirmed that you have read and understood all the documents and you accept the terms and conditions. Really should have said that the lawyer has fully interpreted this document. Because really, in plain English, this is not a proper contract, just so you know.
Yeah.
If you are or will immediately, if you are or will immediately after settlement of the facility, still don't know what that is,
No.
become a registered proprietor of the property described and a new security of the facility agreement property you agree to. Okay, property proprietor. All right, there's a that's a nothing word. So when you realize that in New Zealand we've got council that have gifted land, and when the gifted land is returned from the giftee, the one that received it, they return the gift and they give it back to the council, the local council. It doesn't go back to Tangatawhenua, those who gifted it in the first place, because it might have been back early 1800s or early 1900s, right? The councils didn't exist then. And what happens then is, now this is where it becomes scummy, because this is, if everyone looks at all the deals governments have done, you'll see exactly what's going on underneath the pile. The lawyers are usually the same lawyers that have received the gift and returning it, the same ones in the council and the same ones in the property development. They're selling the land, and that's what's happening tenfold at the moment. And the lawyers in the council, because the development companies, there's a development company that holds the title to the terrace in Wellington, which happens to be the Reserve Bank. So what they're doing is they're ticking boxes and they're making a hell of a lot of money. There's an article written on one of the mayors just a couple of years ago where he's told his mate, oh, this land's going to turn into houses in a couple of weeks' time. So he bought, I think, $2 million worth of the property. It was worth $2 million. The council ticked the box. 4 weeks later, sells it for $12 million.
Wow.
Right. So that's literally what's going on. But people don't see that. Oh, we're just building houses. But why are you building so many houses? And it's like, if you look at the chessboard chessboard, right? You got the houses in the hotels, and they're worth way more, right? I mean, apart from the fact the jamming people into houses, New Zealand's been writing up bonds. New Zealand Debt Management's been writing up bonds, billions of dollars worth of bonds, in a company that's delisted, which is Her Majesty Queen and Right of New Zealand. And in that company, you'll see the beginning of the document. It says New Zealand, like Canada and Australia, the Queen's tacticular. So it's not real, right? So they've been writing out bonds and it's all covered by insurance. Well, if you're shoving a whole bunch of houses on a smaller block of land, it's worth more because of the houses. And I don't know, if something happened, like some sort of climate change event, massive insurance cover.
Is that why they build on floodplains? In this country, in this country, they build on floodplains.
Footplanes?
No, floodplains.
Oh,
so you got a natural floodplain. They sell the land, they build houses on it, and then guess what happens? They flood.
Oh dear. Well, we got what do we got? We got dredging boats, not that far off the coast, and it's just sucking up the sand because there's more dredging boats, there's more sand being taken than there is sand being made by the earth every year. I mean, these people are just a little bit crazy. They just, all they see is, I'm sure, it's just money, or I can do this better than you, and I'm going to make a bet that I can do this before anyone else knows it. I don't know. It's mental. But if people don't stand up and go, just stop, this is my house you're destroying, it's just going to continue. And the only way you can deal with it, I feel, at the moment, is deal with the mortgages that you've signed. Because we're just about to show you, and I know we're not track, but this is the most important thing, and it's here. 4, irrevocably appoint us to be your attorney on your behalf.
That is the point. That's something we've been touching on for a while, and other people have been talking about it as well, haven't they?
Yeah, so in your name, at your expense, to complete and execute a mortgage instrument or e-dealing authority in favor of us over the property, and all deeds, agreements, and other documents, and do all other acts and things that we may consider necessary or explain. So these people at this stage, now what they do, because this is recent now, they go, oh, we've got the irrevocable power of attorney over you. It's not a thing. Sorry, it's just not a fucking thing.
No,
you cannot sign. That's slavery. Irrevocable power of attorney. They go irrevocably appoint you as. So
that is slavery.
That
is slavery. Yeah, you bang on. That is absolute slavery.
Yeah. So it's. And people go, oh, but I wrote down, I understand that the facility agreement may be executed in any number of counterparts. I'm sorry. So everything is money laundering and everything is forgery, and you do not know what you bloody signed. So
nor is your lawyer was they told you about that, which is pretty serious.
Yeah.
Do you know? Guy I work with about sometimes, he actually has to. Some companies he works for, he has to fill an anti-slavery document report policy before he's allowed to work on their buildings. What the fuck? What is that about? So literally, you have to sign. What I do, he's got that document. Yeah, I'll share that. I'll get it off him, and I'll share that. If it's any good to you, Tracy, share it with you, because just for the whole, you know what I mean, of what it's about. And
I've seen that. I've seen hotels or
hotels
have that document as well.
Yeah, hotels have it. Anti-slavery document. So basically, there is an actual document out there that says it's an anti-slavery document, and then obviously you got this, which is the ultimate slavery document. Yeah. So the two conflict is unbelievable. They're telling you can't have a slavery, you can't have slaves working for you. Yeah.
Whilst making you be a slave.
Well, whilst making you be a slave.
Yeah. But it'd be interesting to read. But see, when you do these, when you get your mortgage, like there's a lot of people that have I don't have a mortgage, I'm all good, right? Well, they haven't discharged it, and they haven't discharged this. So it's pretty bloody sick, because we created this, we created the system. And when you realize that, everyone is allowed to have a piece of land as much as they want, because we create, no one's be able to create, right? So then they've stopped that. But what they've done is gone, we're going to take it all and we're going to mine it. So they're shoving, like New Zealand's everyone's been shoved into cities, which is Auckland, I think Whangarei, Wellington, Christchurch. They're just doing that. They're going to open cast mine New Zealand. So they're going to look what they're doing to Australia. Now, Australia is even more sickening because they've allowed the damming of major rivers on privately owned land by China. Yep, so they can do the coffin. Yeah. And there's more than that. They should never, and they were told if they blew the dam up, it would be an act of war. So it's just like, Jesus. And then you've got the Aborigines, but everyone also running around calling themselves Indigenous, right? Indigenous is a United Nations term, and it contracts you to the United Nations. And these people, I think their administration fees are like 99%. So they've created events because their climate change comes through the United Nations, and climate change is created on, imagine all the air in the world. What they did was they crammed this little square here. They literally crammed all the pollutants in this little bit of air, right? And said, this is climate change. So as long as you're in this bit here, you really can't breathe, but all the rest you go. So keep away from this bit.
Or stay away from that bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just put that over there. I've got rid of climate change. The other way of getting rid of climate change is just do a deed on your property. That's what we're looking at doing.
Yeah.
Do a deed on your property and make your value of your property £10, £10, whatever. It's two people having a signature. I've sold this property, the land, to this woman or man, £10, and have it witnessed either by 3 signatures or a notary. If you get it done by a notary, authenticate it, that makes it a deed, and you shove it on top of there and you notify them. You notify limbs or the land or whatever, but keep your own records to yourself and have a deed stuck to the house. They do it in India and they still do it there, but not too many people have deeds. If you don't have a deed, the government has the property.
Yeah. Is that sort of like doing your own minuting, what we spoke about before, doing your own records and keeping your own records? Yeah. Another quick one, just a quickie. Could a person actually go to their solicitor with that and then sue their solicitor, or I don't know, probably sue's the wrong word, but for selling them into slavery? Could they just go, right, you've just sold me into slavery?
Okay, so
is that possible? Is that possible? Yeah, is that like a nice, a quick shortcut for somebody to go, hold a minute, you've just sold me into slavery, mate? And is there a quick shortcut to go back onto that lawyer and go, what you done to me? And then go for the rest of it?
I think what we've got to do is get the power of attorney off them or anything else. Because the case we're doing that's in Levin, what horrified me there was they were given the facts from us. We could see that this woman was being set up by a trust. Her own 2 lawyers, which one's a prosecutor, were running around threatening her because they were using people that knew what they were talking about, not lawyers. And then they immediately go and get liquidators in because the trust is run by the guy that's running her company, and she couldn't do anything about it. And we're going, well, where's the money? Oh no, you're going to have to sell property to pay off the loan. Remember, we trespassed the bank. So they didn't take out any mortgage payments because they had an unless order. The unless order said, show us proof of claim, show us the beneficial owner's financial certified financial statement, right? Because the guy died, the mortgages are paid. We already know that. Even if you go twofold here, there's insurance claiming, right? Or it never existed in the first place, proof of claim. So they knew they couldn't do that, so they stopped. Next day, the trust interfered.
Yeah.
And that's how we knew what was going on. So, and then you criticize, yet nobody knew this until we do something radical. Who would have thought to trespass the bank through the ombudsman?
I never
The
thought
Law
that.
Council. The Law Council did that, right?
Yeah.
So, there's clever people there.
Very.
So, but we have to do the.
I wish I knew that a few years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it's administration without right.
Yeah.
Because they're only a corporation. But see, like next time we have a chat, we'll talk about IRD, because we need to stop doing the IRD thing, because this will stop funding. They're desperate. And IRD, you're talking to a first-hand witness here, personal knowledge, they commit perjury. They're fraudulent. So, why are we listening to them? Anyway, so how's that? That was cool? Understandable? Any questions?
No, actually.
That's cool.
That's pretty conclusive, really.
Well,
it's unbelievable how blatant they are. Yeah, to literally sell you into slavery.
Once you know what the words mean,
Yeah.
But
it is blatant.
You didn't sell you willingly signed. No, you willingly signed.
Yeah.
You understood it. I mean, when I spoke to
this free will business people keep going on about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keep hearing a lot on the internet about free will, and blah blah blah. And this is all part of it, isn't it? It's the same as this. Yeah, it's free will. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they want to go on holiday, so they're thinking about having a boost. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't go on holiday. But I was talking to a young lad. He's probably about 21, something like that, and he's fully clued up. And he's like, they ain't going anywhere near me with any of that. He wants to go on holiday with his mates, so they've been trawling the internet, finding somewhere where they can go. I think he said Turkey, where you don't need any vaccine passes or anything. So they're going to go on holiday over there.
Yeah. How are they getting out of England?
Yeah. And he's a young lad, and him and his mates are all that clued up because they want to go on holiday, they want to go and enjoy himself, and they ain't having none of this. So they're like, right, where can we go? So I'm sure he said Turkey. They've still got open doors without a vaccine passport, so that's where they're going on holiday.
Well, if you see with this document, right, you can see it because the banks seem to be in control of all the ports. You can see how they can do that, but this is an administration without right. That's what you have to remove the power of attorney.
Yes,
which is totally unlawful and totally illegal. But we do have a result, as you know. We've had that international Law Council meetings. That's worldwide.
Yeah,
and it's stated quite clearly that in the minutes it said that the unilateral mistake, because this is a unilateral mistake. It's one-sided agreement, and what you've done is you've been forced to sign illegal declarations, and this is what it is. It's illegal, and so therefore they have to fix it because it's a notification of fraud. Yeah. And then we just acknowledge that it's deceiving documents and therefore it's void. There's a few other things in that thing. And what we're going to do is, well, if you anyone interested, you just contact us, and there's a form to fill out that we will assist you with, and then you can have all the documentation you need to back up your claim and to pop into the bank. But the more people that do this, just notify them.
Yep.
The more. It just means, they're not going to be able to do anything because there's a lot of people.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah. It's a numbers game. And one or two people are just going to go, oh, no, I can't do it. It does work. We've actually had mortgages disappear. So, just keep.
Hey, it's a no-brainer for people with mortgages. It's a no-brainer. All they've got to do is get in contact with the Law Council, become a member, see how it all works, and then just write these letters and then send them off. What have you got to lose?
And people at the Law Council will help.
And you've got everything to gain from it. You've already lost everything.
You've got nothing.
You've got nothing. So all you got to do is become a member, and then literally we can sort the documents out so they can get a rough idea of what they need to sign and send off, and you've got everything to gain. It's a no-brainer.
Well,
so once it's been you said about some people, their mortgages have already gone missing because they've actually gone down, disappeared. Does that mean you keep the property as well?
It's your, see, the property is the property is only leased.
Yes.
No one's bought property. No one owns property.
Yeah.
We you know, look after the property. If you're not looking after the property, you're going to lose that property. It's as simple as that. Look after the lands. If you're not going to look after the lands, don't do it. Don't be there. If we had the ability to just create, we would be a much better world, because there's so many people going, oh, they're such and such, and they're such and such, and they're such and such. Well, we're all born here. Why are we different? We all want to create. Look at the farm, you know, the farmers in India and the farmers in Australia and the farmers in New Zealand and Canada and America and UK have all been conned. If they got together, they can return their lands back to them and farm it and get rid of the council in a week.
Yeah, because I knew that happened in the UK with the foot and mouth, and they had the mad cow disease. And then they went in there and they went and slaughtered all their animals, and then the farmers didn't get any payouts from the so-called government insurance. They couldn't afford to pay the bills. They come in there, buy the property up, they become a sitting tenant. Yeah, they come in, they're now a sitting tenant of their ancestral homes that's been passed down through generations, and they lost it. Land grab. Yeah. It's been going on for a long time.
Yeah. So it's remember what we did in the Law Council meeting, we voided it.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is just taituku it and back it up. And that's with, like, if you've got a group of farmers in that area, it's affidavits, it's facts presented in there. And then what we're going to do is this is lawful. It's nothing to do with legal. You bother yourself with lawyers, you may as well go and shoot a bunch of cows yourself and just bury them in the backyard, and you'll never get anything for it, right? But what you got to do is you've just got to put all you guys into a collective, like a group, have minuted meetings like we do with the Law Council, and just taituku yourself. That means bring yourselves in, back yourselves, and you've got your community going. And you will never, ever have to worry about lawyers or politicians or bankers ever again, because you've actually got food. That's your money. You know, just
it is. And the farmers are the ones that know, have the most knowledge about how to look after the land, how to look after the animals, what healthy animals look like, instead of like
the scientists,
the local councils telling you, you know, otherwise.
And they con people into contracts. Like there's one here where it's a milking contract, it's massive, and what they've done is they've deliberately not allowing these people to make any money. They're deliberately sabotaging it, right? And that's what they do. The corporation, they make money out of that. They make money out of this and over that and all the tax, whatever it is, right? And they in the contract, I said to them, just interpret the words first and then get yourselves together and work it out. But they're all scared because you've got to have a lawyer. And this is the thing, the lawyer contracts you immediately to you're fucked.
Yeah, you can see that in that loan agreement.
Yeah. It's not a one-off, is it? They're all the same, aren't they?
Welcome to slavery. There you go. Thank you very much.
So if you're going to have a lawyer, you have it for interpretation purposes only. I'll hire you through the court as an interpreter only. And so they have to interpret, and then they're accountable. And your agreement will be, this is what's going to happen. A, B, and C, and D.
Yeah. If it's so basically, all they're doing is converting one language into another language, so you understand it. It could be French, it could be anything. So all you're doing is getting them to literally tell you what that language is, so you can understand it.
Yeah.
And deal with it.
Look at the vaccine rubbish, right? You know, I mean, I find it really frustrating because it's this court, employment court, whatever court, all these different courts, all these jurisdictions, right? None of it is lawful, okay? So, because it's harmed someone. Now, a government cannot, they have to help facilitate, they're looking after the property managers. They're not people that can say, oh, we've decided that the whole world's covered in COVID. We're not going to clean it up. We're going to vaccinate you. They cannot do that. It's in their legislation. So you need to say, this is harmful or this is not harmful. So what have they done? Oh, it's safe for you, safe and keep your family protected for your safety. For your safety.
And the greater good. Cool.
Yeah, whatever that is, right? Who understands any of those terms? Never said it will not harm you, and it never said it will not injure you. But then they take it into court, and you get all these judges, and they're looking at it and going, did the guy lose his eye when he poked his finger into that person's eye? Did he lose his eye? Yes. Well, was that a harm? Yes. Right, that's it. Why does it need a whole bunch of words? This, and this. It's like, when I listened to the New South Wales court, right, which is Supreme Court, and it had these top politicians and this wondrous doctor that was forcing the vaccines in Australia, and she admitted that it was harmful for pregnant women, and it was, if you're vaccinated, you're 13 times more contagious. And yet they carried on.
Yeah.
I mean, if I admitted that I stabbed someone, they'd go, guilty, out.
Yeah, you punch someone on the nose and see what happens. Oh, you just harm that person. Now that's, you know what I mean? And we said this before, we were talking about this the other night. A few years ago, if there was a product on the market, say jam or whatever, and they found a bit of glass in it or they found a bit of metal in it, the whole product was taken off the shelves. It was taken off globally. It was dumped and scrapped and everything else. And then it was obviously re-engineered or remade and then put back out again. And that was just for one little shard in one glass or something, or a bit of glass. And now you've got all of this going on. That's fine.
Remember that woman that put a syringe into some baby food? There's a big panic about it. And then, if China wants to reduce the price, it tends to go, oh, the milk powder is such and such, or such and such, right?
Yeah, we watched a thing about that, didn't we? Remember, there's somewhere, was it in India or Africa, where they got formula milk into all the local people, and then they retracted it and took it out, so all the mother's milk was dried up, and then they couldn't feed the babies.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
But it sells a product.
They're fucking evil.
What they're doing is selling a product. They're selling a product.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Just like, you have to have this product. This is money for jam. I mean, it's such a hard advertising campaign. It's unbelievable, right? But they're just selling a product that costs them like 5 cents. I think they're getting 7 or 8 grand a bloody shot, right? And then then the contracts are like, for example, New Zealand went into Pfizer control on the 1st of April. And I tend to believe that because the politicians are doing a bit strange things. But New Zealand's divided from Aotearoa, New Zealand, Aotearoa and New Zealand. And the Governor General is in Aotearoa, New Zealand. So, and there's no queen. We don't have a queen. So we don't know what that is. But it is, the company is Her Majesty and Right of New Zealand, or Sovereign Right of New Zealand, which was delisted 2010, 2011, maybe a bit further back, and it was created just at the time when the whole world changed from government to corporate, and so you have all that issue, and then you have the issue that nobody knows what's going on, but we do know what's going on. We need to get our feet on the ground and get out of the paper.
And there's another thing. Everything you have to pay for, everything you tax for, but globally, have this for nothing. Now, nothing's for nothing.
No.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So literally, you're taxed into your life. You take this, yeah. And no, that's fine. Have this for globally. Have it for nothing. Yeah. They've got people in such a fear porn. Yeah. People would have probably paid $100 to even have it, but no, we don't want it. We don't want that. Have it for nothing. That's worrying.
But the vaccine's voluntary. The vaccine's voluntary, and so is tax.
Yeah.
And it's
we're back down to free will again, aren't we?
Yeah, so but that's you're signing your life away. You're going irrevocable, and not everyone's done a mortgage, but there's something else like you've done driver's licenses, and I haven't read a driver's license contract recently, and I haven't read the passport ones, but you just have to look at them. It's just the wording, and so we're saying, okay, which is the scariest thing to do, but if we take ourselves out and just carry on, I mean, it's not giving up. We're saying we're not giving you our money anymore. You'll never ever beat the legal system, because the legal system is only for them.
Yeah.
And you're just fodder, and it's not giving up. I mean, I have pushed those people as I mean, I should be arrested and be in jail for what I've pushed them, you know. I handed a evidence act to the judge for a case for Jeffrey Martin Smith. He's an innocent man. He was actually convicted through the New Zealand Herald more than anyone. And the serious fraud office, which are lawyers, were told by the judge to, where's the facts? All they did was change the prosecuting lawyer. And Jeffrey Webb was still in jail. So it's like, and New Zealand Customs, they've done the same thing. They've committed fraud. I've caught them out on it. I've asked them to fix it. They won't. Well, as far as I'm concerned, if you don't fix it, you've committed fraud for everyone. You should have fixed the fraud when I asked you to. Don't fix it, you're criminals. You've committed fraud. IRD did the same thing. So, and Judge Harrison last year in the Auckland court, and it should have been in the Manukau court, this is the courts knowing damn well what they're doing. It was an expedito, which meant it had to be corrected in the Manukau court because it's when the mistake was made. And they forced me into the Auckland court. They actually had people behind me when I was saying, no, it's got to be in this court. Right? They don't even have a sheriff in the courts. So I went to we had to go to the Auckland court, and Judge Harrison quietly said, yes, IRD committed perjury.
Wow.
But did not do the expedito. You know, and they you just get a rambling of other words. You will see minutes, you'll be talking about a green tree and it got cut down. They'll be talking about a boat floating in the water over there. Completely different story. And this is what you're getting in judgments. And you've got to go to the appeals court. What's the point? You go to the, I've seen, the judicial reviews, and where QCs actually stood up and lied, because I've first-hand witness to what was going on in the first place. I've actually notified the Manukau court on forgery. And I did it by I'd already spoken to all the parties involved, and they locked us out of the court. So we went downstairs and I spoke directly, so it was funny. I spoke directly to the clerk in the customer service. It's a bank, right? And the customer services, and it was a registrar, and she typed up about the forgery straight to the judge, and they didn't do an automatic restraining and protection order on the woman that they took her children from, and they didn't have any documentation in the first place. So because he was notified through the interpreter, because remember, you're talking to the dead, so the living spoke to a medium or interpreter, which was the register downstairs. She typed it up and it went upstairs to the court.
Dead entities.
Oh, it's just pathetic. I mean,
fucking mad. People think you're fucking, when you talk about this, people think you're fucking nuts. And the thing is, I've not made this up. That's how it is. It's not the case we're just making it up. It's how it is. Yeah.
No, it's not funny, because it really.
But somebody said a while ago, how do you convince people? How do you control people? And we're all in this prison, but you think you're free, and that's how you control people. You're in the prison, but you think you're free. Yeah. And that's perception.
Yeah. So that's where I think the law councils are going to be.
Really busy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's people. It's just people.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with anything else. And there's so many people out there that go, oh shit, hell, I know what to do there. And there's those, right? And it's a connection, because and I've only had to. I just ask for. I say, look, this is going to happen, and it happens, right? If I don't, if I'm quite negative, it will happen as well. So I'm very, very positive. Because I keep told, oh, you've done nothing, blah, blah, blah. And I go, well, actually, when you look at it, I took that bill, I got rid of them and I trespassed them. And you know, that saved you $24,000 and just by doing little things. I don't do you know, I should do more on the traffic tickets, because we get traffic tickets. Like, not that I'm actually traveling or I got the ticket, I just get tickets.
just oh, thanks.
But look at these, they were giving COVID fines like the traffic tickets. But if everyone looks at the traffic tickets, they don't even have a name of a corporation on them. It's like, what are these people? So it's a simple administration without right, and it's a document with forgery on it.
I was talking about this the other day, wasn't I? Because somebody was going back to get a ticket, but I didn't get to see it a bit. Like, yeah, and I was like, well, at the end of the day, you know, no one signed a contract to say I'm going to pay that parking ticket.
To say you're going to abide by those rules.
Yeah. Where's the wet signature say, oh, that's fine? There isn't one. There's no contract.
No, there is. You signed a mortgage.
Yeah.
And you haven't discharged. If you
so they get you. So basically, they can nail you with a parking ticket through the mortgage full power of attorney, and this is why they're doing globally to everybody around the world through their mortgage or loan.
Loan, mortgage. It's the mortgage is the biggie.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one that, you know, we hit hard. Yeah. So the more people, and it requires a system which it's actually started. It'll just roll through, but it's just what it is. It's a simple fix for everyone to just go.
Would it be sort of like I wouldn't say naughty, but like you know, for people to go back to their original solicitor or lawyer that did their conveyancing and go, oh, just want to ask you, just want to ask you one thing, yeah. You know, this bit of paper you maybe sign, or you know, you said the thing about this slavery business, and just stick them a ticket and just ask them what they're going to do about it. You imagine globally, everybody going, this slavery thing. Could you explain this to me? Don't shit it. They'll be like, oh my god.
No, you'd be asking for hey, can you show me the agreement between you and I that said I was going to become a slave?
Yeah, and just literally stick it into them as a point of reference to go, I'm coming for you, because they'd be like shit. So like they'd be like bollocks. Yeah, because I was paying you to look after me, but you actually sold me into slavery, and I'd just like to know what you're going to do about it. And they'd be like and then you can come around the other way, yeah, and go bang to the ombudsman, and they'd be like shit.
Yeah, because they've got systems that we can use. But I think we need to create systems that we can use and then use, you know, the system as an administrative court. Their courts are an administrative court. What they've done is they've overtaken it with a language we don't even know, by people that belong to a certain club, and they've written legislation for themselves. It's got nothing to do with us. Remember, acts bind the crown. And I can tell you, I've done the crown thing. And I can tell you that I am not the crown. I'm not obligated to statutes and laws. I am obligated to do no harm. My promise to my office is to do no harm to our people. And it's a very hard promise to keep when you're dealing with a system that's like lying to you constantly. So that's what you do. You just got to be honest and truthful. And the more people that are that way, the better.
And it really is, isn't it? It's like I've got an agreement with the Law Council, like this is what you just said. Yeah. So where's my agreement with you lot? Exactly. Like you said, who are you? Because I know who I am, and I know where I've got an agreement with. Well, can you show me the agreement I've got with you? And but like you say, the only agreement they've got with you is through a loan or mortgage.
Yeah, well, being in the Law Council, you're acknowledging that the legal system has deceived you in documents, which is fraud, so it's void.
Mm.
So there's that there. So everything, you've deceived me in documents, it's void.
Mm.
Everything is void. And when you realize how far back those deceiving documents go, you're taking out the Magna Carta. Because the Magna Carta is a deceiving document. And you go further, there's just some awful things. Because at the end of the day, like look at the history of witches. They were landowners. They were people on the land growing food. I mean, some bishop, a pope's a king, right? So these people just decided that we're just going to send all these men with spears to kill everybody. For what? You can't. How much is too much?
Mm. And it's something they've never apologized for either.
Oh, they never will. Because
never will. Because the church works in millennia. Yeah, it's an entity that works in millennia, so it's always relevant. But they've never apologized for anything they've ever done.
Well, it's like who is it? Like look at Ireland. You had the Catholics and the Protestants, and they just in the same neighborhood, they hated each other.
Mm.
They didn't know why. And yet the Irish, the IRA, doesn't the Americans fund them? Because oh my God,
and McDonald's. I think I don't know how true it was, but back in the day, so much of McDonald's was also going into it as well. Don't know how true that was, but it was a rumor that was talking about it a long time ago, and a percentage that McDonald's sort of like was also putting funding into it.
It's crazy, eh?
It's bonkers, isn't it?
Wonder, well, look, the Khazarian Jews. There's a recording of 2012 where he's talking about, the goyim and all this sort of rubbish. It's just like, yeah, okay, we're just food. I get it. But they created McDonald's because they had too much of something they couldn't put in the buildings, of which they discovered that DNA to be in the food nowadays.
Yeah.
The food comes in boxes, right?
Yeah.
So what's in the box?
Mm.
People, you're buying food. People are buying food with numbers on it. Why would you buy food that says it's a number? If it's an orange, write a bloody orange, right? I'll put a number. And then they've approved so much stuff there. It's unbelievable.
And now it's a barcode now.
Well,
it's still numbers.
Yeah, but that barcode would tell you every number that's on that product. Bet ya.
Yeah, but then they give you a number. Like, just trying to see if this is got. Yeah. The chocolate, like nowadays, I mean, I don't buy Nestle and I don't buy Cadbury now. So I'm kind of
don't even taste the same.
No, they're not. They put that stuff in there. It's and it's quite heartbreaking because I don't buy it because apart from everything else, but they got rid of all the Dunedin chocolate factory.
Yeah.
The corporation is supposed to have a soul somewhere.
Oh, sorry. It's daytime. Somebody's come to say hello to Rusty. Here we go. He's up. Sorry about that, Tracy. No, Rusty. Let him out.
We should stop recording.
We should do, shouldn't we? We've done quite a bit there, Tracy. And thank you very much again.
That's all right.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, stop recording.
Stop recording, and then we'll do a private chat.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.